It's been decades since last I've spoken to you. 10 billion years. I really just hit stop and start in right back to back. Explain the joke. That makes it much funnier. Good job. Okay, so what are we doing here today? We are, if you did not come from the previous Nuts and Bolts video, we are going to be looking at just the values of potential today. In Nuts and Bolts episode 2, we figured out that potential is primarily adding accuracy and evasion. And we also figured out that it was doing very little to your overall damage reduction. So we're going to test it, but I would like to test both of those things. So first, let's knock out a quick spreadsheet. Potential. Level. Accuracy. Evade. Damage reduction. Level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, wait. Hold on. These are going to be two different tables because we want this to go... I'm assuming these are probably going to end up being the same value, but we also want this to change based on what percentage health there is. 10, 20... 30. If I just did 10 and 20, we just alternate those. 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Actually, we can toss this one. I know it's not going to activate at 100. And then we'll copy this down here, and this is damage reduction. Okay. So I believe I am going to tentatively fill out the chart right now, and if we are wrong, we can be, that's fine. But just for, to help visualize what we're going to be working at. I believe the chart should work something like this. Oh, also, I don't know why I'm doing this, but we can also just drag these down. Bam, bam. Oh, and bam. Where at every level, that is a new threshold of HP you unlock for when the effect would activate. So we need someone with potential level 1. Does Break get potential? He's got a low HP. He does not. Okay. So the two things we want are we want a candidate who has the potential for potential. I was also looking at his unit, but this will not work. He's a level 99, only has potential level 8. We want someone who is potential level 9. And who has also taken some amount of damage. Okay. Because we can try to adjust his health. Oh, not on the game. That's fine. You didn't miss anything. I was just scrolling through units. We want to try and adjust his HP to get these different HP thresholds. So he has potential level 9 right now. I guess also if you missed the last episode, we can adjust. I can adjust levels as I will. So I guess let's start here. Nope, those are not the right spots. We want to have max HP. So our damage calcs are hopefully what they should be. So let's figure that out right now. Or not damage calcs, our accuracy calcs. I've not done this in a while, so this might take me a little bit longer to do. I don't know what's more interesting. I feel like if we could have both on the screen at once, that'd be more interesting, but I don't know how to do that yet. So we need accuracy. This is 192 accuracy. We are going to be attacking with something that has plus 10 attack. We want to be as low as possible so we can actually see the differences. The number of spaces between the unit, only 1. weapon performance adjustment. This has an A in space, so that's a 1. We want all of the leadership bonuses absolutely nowhere near here. Do they have any? No, ideal. These aren't super small, right? Okay. The calculator does not work on super small. It's like, it's not that far off, it's a little off though. And let's just make sure that Go is not a new type. Open Get is not turned on, and that doesn't change for his hit, and he only has potential and the 2 supports. If you are a new type, you get bonus hit also. So we can make that 0. Then we are going to need to take this unit, and we have 123 evade. We have 115 mobility. We do, in fact, have A in space. This unit is size small, so this is going to be 0.8. And it has no new type bonuses. That is a 92 hit. We are showing a displayed 87. Or we displayed 92, and my calc is showing 87. So we are 5% off. That is not ideal. Does Distortion Field... No, we are hitting better than we are supposed to be. So something is wrong on our... So either something is wrong on our side with how much hit we are getting, we should be getting more, or something is wrong on their side and they are not getting enough of it. Right? No, they're getting too much evade. Yeah, they're getting too much evade. So let's check everything again. We have 192 accuracy. Hold on. We have... We have 0... We technically have 0 spaces between us, right? I don't remember how I had this working out. If this is 1 space between us, or this is 1 space between us. Why did that went down from... That went from 84 to 92? Okay, so I think I figured it out. This is 1 space. And are we in Bright's range? We super are in Bright's range. Good golly. Okay, let's go on this side. No, we got there. Okay, it's 87 hit. Okay. Now we also need... Now we want to reverse that, too. Oh, is there an easy way to... There's got to be an easier way to do that. Rather than type all of these in both times. We're just going to copy this and toss this down here a second time. And just have 2 of these going at once at all times. So we don't have to keep switching back and forth. Actually, we need to figure out what he's attacking with. That is a rapid rifle. That is 15 hit. That is... It's an A in space, so that's all fine. Okay, we just need to get his accuracy then, which is 165. I guess it would help if we actually carried down the thing that showed us the results of our equation. No, this screen is fine. We have 183 evade. We have only 80 mobility, though we did not really upgrade it altogether at all. Are we in A in space? We are in A in space. We are also size medium, so that goes to 1. So that we should be looking at being hit by a 59. And we are incredible. Okay, so we know our base. So we know our base values are correct. We now need to figure out what our HP thresholds are. So let's go over here, get her 1 HP percent. Our HP is 1025, and our percent is 100. And then we can go 90%, 90%, and 80%. And then this will equal hold value. This is hold value L, hold value 4 times M 5 divided by 100, right? That shouldn't matter. Oh, I guess let's get these percentages out of the way. That might be ruining things. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so our health at 90% is 9,205. This is 8, 7, 6. This also, and like, we'll do the make sense check. We are at about 10,000, so we should have a little over 10,000 each time we go down a HP threshold. Yeah, and these are checking also across the respective column. I'm not saying it has to be only 10% thresholds. They might also check at 5% thresholds, but like we'll start with there and see what happens. So now's the matter of getting us down HP thresholds. I don't know how we're going to do that necessarily. We could map attack ourselves. That is always an option. I don't know how much. I don't know how much damage that's going to do, but let's find out. Not a whole lot. We might end up needing to pass the turn. Though we could also... reset. Okay, so we could awaken ourselves, move here, self-destruct from both of these units, and take out... Actually, that would be all of our HP. So we have some controlled bombs we can throw to get our HP considerably lower. So, but for now, this is putting us between 70 and 80 HP. So let's see if those calcs are different. Oh, not by much. So it's 95 and 49 now. And what was it before? It was 87 and 59. So in fact, they do not adjust at the same rate. Right? Because we've gone up 8%. We have 8% more hit now. But we have a 10% chance to get... We have 10% less chance to get hit. Make sure there's nothing else confounding about that. Yeah, we're not in that range. We're in the same spot we were. Okay, so let's tentatively jot that down right now for... this is potential level 9. We are at the 80% HP threshold, so this is... what do we say? Plus 8 to hit, and minus plus 10 to evade. And then if these end up being different, we will separate it out into different sheets if there's not something like weird going on with specifically this situation. Okay, so here's the other deal. We want to also start adjusting our level such that we are getting lower values of potential. It's really hard that we can't, like, keep rechanging our HP. Does it make more sense? I'm going to talk that for a second. Does it make more sense for us to get our HP to a threshold, stay at that same spot, and then check all levels? Or does it make more sense to figure out what all of the threshold spots are? I'm really hoping, there are a couple possibilities. I'm really hoping that we have hard lines as, like, either 10% increments or 5% increments, rather than just a, like, whole percentage sliding scale that every one HP loss contributes to a percentage. That would be so much harder to figure out. And if that was the answer, I would just say hands up. As you have more potential, it gets better. I don't want to do that, but that might have to be the answer. I guess for right now, we won't do this for all the values, but I want to test right now to make sure that the amount we're getting, that the thresholds we care about are dropping off as we get lower levels of potential. So how we're going to do that is we're going to go to the player pilot database. Look up. Oh, you can also, you should be able to see this. Go to not Guy. We want the getter team. All right, go. He gets potential level 9 at level 48. That's perfect. So we're going to adjust down to level 37 and then 28 and so on and so forth. We said it's going to take me a second. I got to uncheck every level before it because of how I have this thing set up. Okay, so we should now be level 37. We are. Oh boy. Okay. Oh, right, because we're also losing hit every time we're doing that, too. We lose a lot of hit from our own. Okay. We now need to go back to the worksheet. Yeah, because we can't just drop the potential level without also dropping our stats, which is fine. That's fine. So our everything, but the reason why I wanted to keep the two equations or the two sets of areas, hold on, it's easier visually. Come on. The reason why I wanted to keep all these the same is because I only had to adjust literally one number to account for that change. So this is saying we should have. Oh, we should have a hit of 30? That's not right. We're getting plus 11 to hit here. Okay, I'm going to save this state. It is funny that this is basically the HP we started at, and then I am basically resaving at the same spot. So let's full heal. See if we're at 30. No, we're at 37. Okay, so something else is going to miss here. Why is it so much worse? I am much less confident in my accuracy formula than I am about my my damage formula. Oh, well, I can tell you what the answer is. I put in the evade rather than... Hold on. I was trying to move over onto the OBS to point it out. I put in the evade rather than the hit. Okay, there's the 37. Goodness. File. Load state. And then So this is only being adjusted by 4%, which makes sense to me. That is now half as good. We are dodging by a mystery amount. But we can figure that out in a moment. So we can go back to our equation. We need to knock off our evade down to 121. And they have a 121% chance to hit. So if we use a focus, do we not have focus? Well, ain't that a bummer. Okay. I was thinking if we can give ourselves some more evade through other means, and then let that adjustment help figure out, help us set what we're doing. So what if we get one of our leadership units close by? I think that Nadeshko is the best choice. We have a save state right before this. We're just going to try it. So we are within leadership. This is level 4. So we can go to leadership bonuses. At level 4, we are going to be at the second to last space. That's a plus 10 bonus. So they should still have 100 hit on us, because we should only be, it's 111. That's that intended at 41 we saw. So if we go here, okay, now that's 96. At this step of leadership, we're adding plus 20. We move 2 steps closer. So they should have 101 hit on us, but they have 96. So that's 5 less. Okay. Oh. Incredible. Do you see the pattern? It is exactly half of what level 9 was. So far, so good. And then I'm also willing to, actually, let me get back to this. I'm also willing to estimate that getting plus 4 to hit and plus 5 to evade is also going to take place at the 90%. Hold on, why is this not going down correctly? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. That should be meeting at 6. Level 7 should be meeting at level 7. Level 8 should be meeting at level 8. Oh, the trouble is I just have these down 1 step. Okay. Right, so then we should be getting plus 4 and plus 5 if we're at the 90% point, too. Right, and we are still within the 80 bracket. We have not gone down to the 70 bracket yet. But what is half a step? What's half a step here? Okay, we've also not lowered to 75%. So even if there is a half step, we are still within the 80 bracket. For now, let's assume that that is not what's happening. And then we're going to figure that out later. So we can do 5,200 or 5,390. 5,200 puts us down to 2,000. Oh, sorry, hold on. 2,500, which is between 20 and 30. So theoretically the 30%. And 5,390 is 7716 minus 5390 puts us to 2326. Let's see if either of those are our 25 percentage point. $25.56. So, I think both of those are putting us under that. Yeah, both of those are putting. Yeah, a self-destruct from either of these two units is putting us under that value. But let's do that for now, and then. Oh, do we not have Awaken at this level? Okay. Let's go back and get Zeal. We are one level away from Zeal, so let's go grab ourselves Zeal, cast it, and then go back down to a level where we can't do that. Okay, he still has his turn. We will use here. We'll use Duo to blow himself up. Cool. And also, theoretically, Potential should have kicked in at that point. Actually, no, we don't know that for sure. But I'm curious whether or not Self-Destruct will be influenced by Potential or not. So let's go back over here and take a look. The only reason we didn't scale down other levels is, at that point, we should not have been getting any bonuses. Though I guess I theoretically should have checked to make sure. We will check that. We'll check that later. Okay, so at level 37, all of our equations have stayed the same. So it should still be 37 to hit and 101 to get hit. Oh, but the trouble... Okay. Let's set our leadership bonuses to 10. To 10, respectively. Okay, so this should be 47 and 111. And it's not. It is instead 71 and 81. So this equals this value minus this value. So we're getting a 30 benefit here, and then this equals this value minus this value. So we're getting a 24-point benefit there. That feels consistent with how we've moved up on these, but we'll tentatively plug these in for now. So we should be hitting, we're at the theoretical 30 threshold. So what was that? That was not that worksheet. 24 and 30. We don't need equals there. Just plus 24 and plus 30. And then if we level up to 48. Oh yeah, we were at that was a very dramatic threshold. So no, we're gonna level down one time. Because that should only, if Potential wasn't doing anything, that should only adjust it by 1 point. But it did not. So this is now a 30% threshold, but a level 7%, but a level 7 potential. Okay, so we are getting 64 to hit. And 89 to be hit. We also have 1 fewer accuracy. And 1 fewer evade. Let's just double check all those values are correct. We have 120 evade and 129 hit. Okay, so that is 18 and 23. That feels like a big jump. Plus 18 and plus 23. Okay. I'm not sure what to make of that. That doesn't adjust by a consistent value either way. So that's a difference of 6 for hit and 7 for evade. And we've seen it only half before. I think there's just too little data to make that call. So we're going to keep scaling this down and see if we get some more patterns. I guess I will keep recording this, but we'll probably end up cutting this out once I have everything done. So we need to go down to 27. Okay, so I was just going to come back once I had like largely filled out the spreadsheet and then we could test it against some other units, but I run into a couple of problems. A, I can't make the level go low enough and still get representable stats. I guess I could on hit, but not on evade. So maybe I'll go back and do that. But also, I wanted to come back to say, I think I've seen a pattern. I think we figured it out. So at 30% HP and having a level 6 potential, you get plus 16 to hit and plus 20 to evade. At 40% HP with a level 8 potential, you get plus 16 and plus 20. So we're gonna hope that this is plus 18 and plus 23 once we level up again. So let's take a look at that. I figured, like, let's all do this together, because if this works, it'll be exciting. He needs to be at level 48. Oh, well, you saw the thing. That's fine. I don't know what I'm supposed to do on YouTube. Okay. What this could just means we figured out a very stupid way of calculating potential for just this character. But the real test is going to come once we can, like, I want to get some data in, and then we can apply this to other characters too. And then we are displaying 76 to hit and 75 to be hit. So that is 20 and 25. I believe those are not the numbers we were looking for. No, they are not. Okay, well, no pattern there. That's okay. There didn't have to be. I will say, the 40% column is changing by 4% for hit and 5% for evade, so that is at least a pattern. We can heal up to... We can heal ourselves up to the 70% threshold. 6326 is, yeah, right above the 60% threshold. So I'm going to go back to what I was doing, and I will meet back up with y'all later once the table's done. Okay, so I think potential does not take into account any of the armor and HP, sorry, any HP that you get from parts you have equipped. So right now we have a hybrid armor. That's this part. Oh, mouse, thank you. That's this part, putting us to 1,000 or 10,225 HP. That is just under the 60% threshold. But I am getting stats as if I am already in the 60% threshold, right? Hold on, let's look at the equation to make sure. Yes, we're getting plus 16 and plus 20 to our hit and to our evade, respectively. If I remember correctly, hybrid armor gives 800 HP. So let's subtract 800 from this. And now, if so, our 60% threshold is 5,655. I don't know if that changes any of the rest of the thresholds. Everything else has sort of made sense so far, but it would really make so much more sense if my 40% threshold was over my 50% threshold. Right? Like, we can see a pattern here. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. This would be 24, 28, 32. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, so on and so forth. In which case we have a perfectly descending scale. And then the same case would be true for evade. I think we may have cracked it. The problem is just these HP thresholds. So we're gonna need to come back to this with either fresh units or someone that has potential that doesn't have any armor parts on. So let's go take a gander. But I figure I stop back in now at this point because... Okay, Domon does. We can do this with Domon. I figure I stop in at this point because that feels like a pretty big revelation. As much as I love this Getter song, I'm also so ready to stop hearing this MIDI version of it. I've heard it a lot. Okay. So we want Domon at 50% HP. I don't know an easy way to do that. So let's just try and get him hit with some things and see what happens. Oh boy, okay, but they really have miserable. Oh, because I have the leaderships in the line. Okay, that's fine. This will take place over a couple turns, I think. This will also be a good test because now we can enter into the equation for what his hit should be with potential accounted for before we even get there. I'm not supposed to do that. I've learned that setting my controller down on the table gets picked up by my mic for some reason. It doesn't pick up a lot of other things. Like, yeah, I don't get it. But this feels pretty significant. I feel pretty confident in saying that we have answers to what hit and evade are. I have not done any testing with damage reduction yet, so that will still be forthcoming. But this feels like good progress. Oh, but all these have moved in now, so they're under leadership bonuses now, aren't they? Was this all for a big waste? Are we gonna undo all of this? I think we are gonna no, we're just gonna need to go outside of their leadership range. So this unit specifically, and get everybody else out of here. Let's save this so we don't have to watch that that enemy face again. Whenever you're ready, thank you. You take your time. Is there anybody else? Yeah. Okay, is there anybody else that has a large radius? No. Okay, good. Let's pop her. Oh, let's... Actually, I don't think that should matter. Let's find out. Let's check quick. I don't believe... It's 34 hit. I don't believe love changes your hit and evade. Nope, sure doesn't. Okay. And then do we have someone who has an awaken? We do have someone who has an awaken. Okay. So actually we're gonna save here. And then we're gonna go interact with someone. That's the wrong unit. We're going to try and fight someone who does have better hit on us, like this. If we could fight the boss, that would be stellar. Yeah. Okay, I'm also doing this with Dome One, and there's super no reason I have to. You know, we should be doing this with the Combattlers and the Voltes. Okay. This is going to be pretty easy to do then. So. Oh, but the reason we can't do it with them is because they have HP parts on. Okay, how about the Daitarn? Perfect. Okay. Banjo has potential level 8. He has 8,000 HP. Which is also giving us nice, clean thresholds. At 80%... Oh, sorry. He has 3,800 HP, which puts him below the 50% threshold. He's the 40% threshold right now. Which, actually, this is incredibly perfect, because this should be adjusting with the value that I think is not correct. These battleships are far out of the way, so... are still our usual suspect. Oh, okay. Hold on. We can go back to the previous one where they're not getting leadership bonus here. Right? Or did I save... Yeah, okay. Yeah, the two bosses have not come in yet. Oh, but we are at higher HP. You're going to use this one, because this is like a perfect HP threshold. Okay, then... we won't keep this. But I do want to get that boss out of the way, so we're not getting ruined by other variables. I want to try and isolate the situation as much as I possibly can. Okay. And then we can give Hero Soul, and I think that should do it. If he can hit. Okay. Great. Now that leadership's out of the way, let's make sure all these stats are correct. We have 165 accuracy. We are being attacked by the rapid rifle. All the rest of that stays the same. We just need to get our stats in here now. So we have 129 evade. We have 65 mobility. This is being confounded a little bit by being a larger size, but that's okay. We'll deal with that. That's not the end of the world. And we also need to have our accuracy be 163. We need number of spaces between is 1. Weapon performance adjustment is... we're going to make sure it's 1. No leadership, no terrain, no new type bonus. So anything with A in space, that's all of our options. Okay, well, we want one that doesn't have a perfect hit, so I guess we will use this one. That did not. Okay. So our hit is 56. Or sorry, the hit from the equation is 56. If we consult our sheet, we are at 3,800 HP. So we are at the 40% threshold, which is why I have this highlighted. We have a potential level of 8, so that should be plus 16. Let's add 16 to this. That is 60, 72. Right? And then it'll show plus 16 there. Okay. I kind of think I remember seeing it. Let's see. Do we have 72 hit? Ooh, that feels good. That feels good. I think we may have locked that in. That also has taught us something else too. So remember this being at the 40% threshold? We have 3,800 HP, which means we are at 40%. So it's not that it we can't say that it doesn't, but the HP parts are not confounding this problem right now. Are we not moving by 10% HP thresholds then? And then did we just happen to, like, squeak by for some of these? Or is the 50% threshold just not happening? It's a really big jump from 40 to 30%. But that does tell us... Well, okay, also, this is literally one test, so we can't say for sure yet. But that does give us very, very satisfying results. We're going to need to play around with it some more. So I will do that, I guess, and then we'll pop back in if we get anything interesting. I would show you all this as we kind of did the last time, but it's genuinely been 2 hours since putting all this stuff in these sheets. Like, it's a lot of time because I have to, like, I kind of have to play by the rules to get everyone to, like, the correct HP thresholds. I don't have a way of editing that really well, so it's really hard to do this efficiently, but I think we're going to try and see if there's a way I can manipulate HP thresholds. And if that's the case, then we can make this a lot faster. So if so, I will mention that when we get back in, but I think for now, we'll cut and then come back to a more solved situation. And we are back. So I have figured out how to manipulate HP, and it is genuinely so easy. So, given that, what I need is another monitor to make this easier. So here we're going to prove that it's by a single HP threshold. So we have 6,400 HP right now, and we're doing it with a 60% chance to hit. I have now adjusted us to have 6,401 HP. And now we have a 56% chance to hit. And if I adjust that back down to 6,400, it's 60. So that is not a fluke. We'll test it on another value too, just to prove the point. So our next threshold should be at 5,500. And that gives us 64 hit. So let's go 5,501. Yep, and we still... Wait, does that make sense? Hold on. No, our next threshold should be 56? Hold on. Yeah, sorry, our next threshold is 56, not 55. And then... 5,601. And we've lost 4 accuracy. Okay, so it's literally by... It is by, so far, 10 percentages. And it is hard 10%. So we should predictably see a change then, again. If we take 800 off of that, we should then predictably see at 4,800. So 4,801 should still put us in. Oh yes, yeah, there should be 64. Sorry, yeah. We'd been at the other threshold before that. And then if we go down to 48, we've gained another percent. We've gained another 4% in. And then that should persist until 4,000 HP. So let's go 4,001. Okay. And we've gained another 4. So we've only ever gained 4 each time. Am I writing something down wrong in another place? Also, this was a way easier way of testing this. We can do this for the rest of the hit and evade, which I will do off camera then. Once we've like gotten this down to a science. So at 3,200, we should be at to 76. And then this should last until 2,200. 2201. I can check the 3,201, but I think it's a little fine. Oh, sorry, no, 2,400. That's my bad. I subtracted 8 and then said a number that was 10 less. Yeah, great. Namirawa. Okay. We're good. And then we need to go down to 1,600. Could you go down the chart, please? Thank you. 1,601 should still be 80%. Great. And then we're up to 84%. Perfect. I'm sorry if this is boring. I just want to make sure. I want to test all of them. Just because it was behaving weirdly, we gotta know. Or it looked to me like it was behaving weirdly based on what I had written down. So I want to be precise. Yeah, okay. That does work perfectly. Let's see what it looks like if we've got 1 HP. Okay, great. So that means we are getting an adjustment of +4 here. Nope, that's not how I want to do that. Okay, so what did I do wrong in writing these sheets out then? You know what? I wonder if I was close enough in leadership range that I wasn't accounting for that. That we accidentally got into a leadership range and that was adding 4 more because of it. Alright, so let's go over to this value. I'm gonna take the pluses away. Just so we can get this, we can put the number down quickly. It's gonna count by 5. No, it's not. Okay, great. So then this is by 8 then. Right? Yep. 16. Am I just bad at like HP percentages? Like I'm not. Let's see what's happening here. Maybe everyone's also like sitting at home with your either you're sitting at home with your calculators being like, ah, yeah, no, this guy's got a point, or you're sitting at home with your calculators being like, man, this guy can't do basic multiplication. Okay, so this is moving in a predictable fashion. So when I was setting us to what I was calling 40%, hold on. We're gonna save this as we're gonna save this little thing I made, and then we can reopen it afterwards to adjust. I want to see what the HP threshold was before, and see if I was just being an idiot about it. That's the turn. Oh, yeah, it was just the R and the N were combined together to look like an M. Okay, that. Close this. Load state. This one? Not that one. This one. We have 3,800 HP. That is putting us at at 3,800 HP. We should be adding 16. Are we? Do we need to destroy one of these again? Oh, we do. You go over here. It is also wild that we can't one-shot this boss. Distortion field really does make a big difference. Oh, that won't be enough. Oh, that's interesting that we can't activate them at the same time. Yeah, the distortion field's still active. Okay. Or not hero, duo, be our hero. Okay, great. Okay, that is a 72% chance to hit. That is correct according to this. So why am I freaking out? Okay, hold on. Let's look at some stuff. I'm like sitting here in stunned silence, not understanding. Is this because why am I not getting this? Am I just being bad at math on the internet? Is there, like, something getting stuck? No, because that's the HP threshold we said we should be at. Okay, let's add one more row to this to see what's happening. And then this is equals B3 divided by lock B lock 1. Oh, 2. We can divide by HP. Okay. And then take this down. Yeah. Oh, right. We also want to multiply this by 100 then? Yeah. To see what percentage is left. Okay, so At 38%, we've got 47.5. So... Oh, I think I know what the problem was. Okay. I was going this value and up, not this value and down. So this is at the 50% HP threshold. I was just calling it the 40% one, but it's not that amount and up, it's that amount and down. Right, so... Okay, yeah, I mean, I was doing all my math right. I was just thinking about my percentages in the wrong direction. Yeah. I was trying... Yeah. Which makes sense. Once you get to 50% HP, until you get to 40% HP, you get this bonus. And then the rest of the bonuses follow suit. Okay. I am now going to go fill in the rest of this chart. I know I could just estimate here, but I do want to, again, make sure it is perfect. So we are going to check this. I'm going to check this at every level and make sure that these values are correct. The only reason I want to do this is there's one level of new type that I think it just got programmed wrong. That one level before you gain another level of new type, you get a small bonus. Like every time you get a level of new type, you get about +5 hit-ish, roughly. It doesn't actually matter what the number is. You get a fixed amount of hit. But for the purposes of the hit. For the purposes of this, we will just talk about hit. When you are at levels, I think it's between level 6 and level 7. When you're at level 6 new type, you get +32 hit. And at level 7, you get +37 hit. But at one level before you get new type level 7, you get +3 hit in addition, so it would be from 32 to 35. And then you'll get 2 more on that level up. It's very strange. So I just need to make sure something like that isn't happening in between for these values. So we're going to check the... I want to check the rest of everything. So, when we come back, I will have those numbers done, and then we can start in on the damage reduction. So I will see you back here in a minute. Hi, it's been a minute. So, I have been hard at work figuring out potential. You can see that we are in the final scenario now. It's taken a minute, so unfortunately this is going to not be quite the usual mood of the nuts and bolts. This is going to be post me figuring things, but it just ended up being playing with a spreadsheet a lot, and I'm not sure how interesting that is. So, let's go over my discoveries in a kind of more organized fashion. I can't profess to ever be organized, but I have cracked it. We've solved the potential situation. So, let's go over some basics first. Looking at potential. Pilots that have potential will have it on their pilot screen and not their unit screen. So, can I have a mouse? Can I have a mouse? There we go. Here is our potential skill. It has levels 1 to 9. As you level your character up, it will get more levels. That's all known quantities so far. When you level up your character, when you level up your potential, you are going to get a better effect of your potential, both in terms of what it's turning back for you, like what the stats it's giving you, and the earlier it will give you those stats. So, let's look at our potential fact sheet, the fact sheet about potential. Come hither. Great. So, we have it divided into 3 different categories because the stats it gives are not the same per resource given. Accuracy is given in chunks of 4. So every level of potential and every 10% of potential, it gives you 4 more points. It gives you 4 more points of accuracy. Not mobility, not the stat accuracy, but towards the actual final dodge calculation. So if you have... Actually, I guess I didn't say this first. Potential checks based on a 10% incremental threshold of your HP. So every 10% of your HP missing, potential will check again. At potential level 1, the only time it matters is when you are at 10% of your total max HP. At potential level 2, it checks at both 20 and then again at 10. But that is to say, it doesn't check in the halfway point, so it doesn't go 30, 35, 40, 45. Also, and it's not a sliding scale. It doesn't take whatever your percentage is and multiplies it by a benefit, right? It is hard limits at 10%, which I think is all pretty well known in the community. It's just what these numbers are, and then also how armor is working. So, for accuracy, we are getting a bonus of 4 every step we go. So we can either increase steps by having higher levels of potential, which is moving down to the chart, or we can move a step to the left of the chart by having lower percentages of HP. All the way up to a total bonus of 36, a potential 36 additional chance to hit. I'm looking at this right now. I think I probably will also cordon this off and make this table look a little bit easier to read by having some lines dividing this, but that can be later. Evade works exactly the same way, but instead of steps of 4, it moves up by steps of 5. So we go 5, 10, 15, 20. Both of these we already have that figured out. I was getting tripped up before because I was being a stupid idiot, and I was not paying attention to the fact that as we were moving up levels of potential, when we were getting down to these like really higher values, I was going, why is our accuracy going back up? Is like the bottom levels of this bugged because they didn't think anyone was going to check? Nope. No, it's just because enemies were changing what weapons they were using. That was dumb of me. So no, these are all nice and precise numbers. So here's what we are most interested in, what I'm going to show off right now. Potential for armor adjusts by 5 points every step, but it does not adjust in the same gradual arcing pattern that evade does. Every 3 levels of potential gives you a new armor value. So level 1, 2, and 3 of potential give you exactly the same, fully, completely identical armor bonuses. Levels 4, 5, and 6, fully the same. 7, 8, and 9, fully the same. They also don't check at the same point as the rest of these values, we can say. So the highest level of potential checks at 60% first and no higher. So for a couple of quick demonstrations, we're going to do like 2 or 3 random values, and then we'll go through this like more precisely. So let's go back to our game screen. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to have the getter attack this Devil Gundam. The getter has, at present, only 1,000 HP. So we are below the 10% threshold. So we are getting max benefits out of potential. And we have, as we saw earlier, a potential level of 9. So this is the maximum we can get out of anything. I have accounted for this in the equation I've prepared earlier. So let's go and take a look at this. We're going to have to reroll this probably a couple of times. We do need to get hit. A 68 is a decent chance, so. That was 1248. That was 1248. Let's look back at our calculator. And here is our calculator. We are predicting the value of 1248. I will fully demonstrate that in a second. But I have adjusted the worksheet, which people probably have noticed by now if you poked around in this before I released this, to now include this little potential section down here. If you don't want to calculate potential, I suggest just setting all 3 of the values to 1. That's it. It will make the chart read zeros for everything. This column, the attacker column, only needs to use for accuracy. The defender column only needs to be used for evasion and armor. So that's why you're seeing this bunch up to 0 right now. So I have our values in here: potential level 9, HP level 1000, and total HP 10,925. And these 3 equations are drawing from this worksheet to coordinate out which value of this we're taking, and then being added into the damage formula up here. So let's go back and make sure and look at all of our values. We already did the actual potential levels here, so let's look at everything else just to confirm. We have Go at 164 defense and 108 morale. We have 164 defense, 108 morale. We need armor, 1845 armor, and he's in the air right now, so that's an A in the air. 1845 armor, and that's an A in the air. We are also in the air, so we're not getting any terrain bonuses. We don't need to check that. That's just how air works. And then we can go over and look at the Devil Gundam. So we have a morale of 100 and 181 on the worksheet. And then if we look here, we have a morale of 100 and a melee of, or ranged of 181. They're the same, so it doesn't matter which one. We are also getting attacked with this weapon that I don't remember what the translation is for, but it has 2800 power, and it has an A in the air. So if we go back over here, we have 2800 power and an A in the air. They don't get rivalry bonuses, so we're just keeping these at 1. I guess this is also, this isn't necessarily related to potential, but if we're here, you can adjust your rivalry bonuses internal to this calculator now, rather than having to do it on your own somewhere else. But this is all the data we had plugged in for that 1248. You can see it right here still. That's how we got 1248. But I am unsatisfied with just showing that, so let's show just a few more examples. If we can adjust the getter's HP to, let's take a random 4-digit number. Here, I just smashed my hand on the numpad, and we got 5644. The point I'm trying to make is, like, I want it to be truly random. Like, I don't want this to be, or not truly random, but I want it to be as arbitrary as possible. 5644. So we're gonna set that in the calculator, and that is only giving us 105 armor now. We're only getting 105 armor now, which is the lowest armor that potential can give you. So that means we should be taking 1,282 damage instead of the 1248 we were taking before. So let's see if that's 1,282 damage. We might need to do this a couple of times. Oh, I guess because we also have lower potential now. 1,282. We had lower potential now, so it was going to be more likely to hit. But that by itself is not satisfactory enough. So we are also going to adjust Go's level down to show that the thresholds jumped in those three-tiered segments that I said they did. Yeah, okay, so we have level 8 potential now. That's the thing I care about the most. So we're going to set to level 8. We still have the same HP level. Like, it's still the same percentile HP. Because that's not set by the pilot. We do have less defense now, so we're going to have to adjust that too to 146. And then otherwise, everything else remains the same. So, as it stands right now, we should be taking 1,426 points of damage. 1, 4, 2, 6. We've adjusted the defense to 146, and we now have potential level 8. So, we should still be getting 130 points of armor from that, but we're taking more damage because that's not right. We're taking more damage because we have less defense now. So we're keeping armor exactly the same as it was when we were at potential level 9. We'll just see it hasn't changed at all. The armor hasn't. And then let's go back to camera. And if we take 1426, 1,426 damage. So that means that despite going down a level of potential, we did not change how much armor we were gaining from it. And we're going to do that one more time. But this time we want to go to level 7 potential, which I believe Go gets at level 40. So let's go to level 39 and see if that's correct. I've got another window open. I've got so many windows open to make this happen. Oh, no, I was incorrect. Is it 38? Oh boy. Yeah, okay, sorry, it was 37 that he gets it. Okay. Regardless, we are at level 7 potential now. And we are down to 136 defense. That means we should be taking 1,524 damage. And that should stay the same if we adjust to level 7 potential. Yep, 1,524. Let's hop back to the game. And we took 1,500. Okay. We are 1 point off, but we know that's... in the nuts and bolts, we've already talked about this, that there's a 1 damage rounding error. So that is, in my mind, the same answer. So that means we still were using only 130 armor. Now, if we go to... We need to go to level 6 now. That's not in here. That's out here in this exile tool. That's not correct. Ancillary tool. That's also not correct. External. External is the word. Gracious. Okay, now we have level 6 potential. We need to go down to 127 defense. And you can see once I hit enter, we are going to drop. And then we have, sorry, not yet. When we go to level 6 potential, we're going to be reduced to 125 armor. So at level 7, we would have 5 more, and we would be taking 6 less damage. So we would be So if we kept the same amount of armor, we would be taking 1,613 points of damage. If we lose armor from changing levels of potential, then we would be taking 1,619 points of damage. What do we got? Or 20, because again, the rounding thing. But it's definitively not 1,613. We're not missing out on rounding of by 7 points. So that means we did adjust going from level 7 to level 6. And then let's hold on. I don't know where the rest of goes are. I can pull up the player pilot database. That's the unit database, but that'll get us close enough. We'll just have to arrow over. We're going to work our way down to 3. Go is the character that we have right now that can get to level 9. Not many people get to level 9. There could be someone else in here, but this is just usually who I use. But he doesn't go below level 3. At level 1, he has level 3 potential. I also feel like I'm saying the word level a lot. It's going to soon lose meaning to me. So we want level 5 potential. That's at level 16. We need to reload because he needs to live. I need to adjust him to level 16 is what I said. I was going to say, that seems awfully low, but that's because that's the first time he gains level 5 potential. Okay? We need to go to 116 defense. So that means we should be receiving 1,728 points of damage from this attack. Plus or minus 1. $1,728 exactly. Perfect. And that was still... Oh, even better, I forgot to move it down to potential level 5, and because it doesn't actually change the armor, it still stayed the same. Now potential level 4. Go gets potential level 4 at level 8. We need to move this down to level 8. Great, potential level 4, perfect. And we have 108 armor. Or defense, sorry, not armor. Defense. We took 1,807 points of damage. And our calculator was showing 1,806. Again, plus minus 1. So that checks out. And at level 3, we are going to drop by a value of armor. So at level 3 potential, we're going to drop by a value of armor. 5 points of armor. And then we got to go down by 1 more point of defense here because we went down a level to reach that. Back here, let's confirm all those are true. Go has level 3 potential, and he has only 107 defense now. So we should be receiving 1,822 plus or minus 1 damage. 1822. Exactly. And there we go. And that's with that 5 less armor, right? Because as we go back to level 4, it's 125. So I would say that's solved. I am pleased with these findings. I'm sorry we couldn't all be together for them. But, like I said, it was a lot of playing with this spreadsheet. More of the time was spent, I shouldn't have clicked off this. More of the time was spent getting these numbers to come from this table than anything. Or playing around with an external tool to modify everyone's HP so that I could check them at those different thresholds. So I would call that solved. While we're here, I will mention it, because I guess this is like kind of a nuts and bolts thing. This is like figuring out the mechanics of the game. I did promise that if we couldn't show it off during the game, that I would show off a combination attack between the Combattler and the Voltace using their best combo attack, and then getting a support attack from Domon and Rain using the Sekihao Love 10 Kyogen. Maybe someone in the comments has noted this already, but like obviously that can't happen. Both of those are 1 range and therefore can't have a support attack happening. So I just can't show it, unfortunately. Sorry. That's just not something that we can do. So I can't do anything about that. Whoops, sorry. I guess while we're here, corrections also. I'll have this down in the comments. I will post a comment about this when I mention it, so people will know. But I also just like super duper misnoted when Y was coming out. I looked at the date and read 8/27/2025 and went, yup, that sure says October 8th, 2025. That wasn't close. I don't know how I got there. So, whoops. Oopsie daisies. I'm going to mention a couple more times in this playthrough that we're going to try and plan for what to do between the end of this playthrough and when Y comes out. There will not be time between those 2 things. So just disregard that. That's going to be post-Y stuff. Thank you for your patience as I get all this organized. That feels like a pretty glaring error that I could have seen pretty quickly on my own, but at least I caught it before I waited 2 months to play the game. So with that, we will wrap up our last episode of Nuts and Bolts for Super Robot Wars R. I do plan to continue doing these. I hope people like them. I really like doing this a lot. This is like the thing that I care about with these games. I'm not sure what form they are going to take when we are going to be approaching the new game, just because I haven't played it yet, so everything is going to kind of be new. Maybe maybe it'll be fun to like watch me start from scratch figuring some of this stuff out. Or maybe it's just going to use all the information we already have, and it's just going to be some light tweaks. But if anyone is down in the comments and likes these episodes, let me know what you think you want them to look like for Y. Or maybe we don't need to ask these questions yet, and we will just let that answer solve itself, present itself to us as we're playing through Y, and we run into a situation where we're like, well, if we did know this, we would have won, and because we didn't, we lost. I guess we're gonna have to look at that one, right? Like, that might just be how we're going to decide what's going to be in these videos. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate you being here again, especially for these sort of like bonus, not as mainline content-y kind of episodes. So, that'll be all from this version of me. I will see you back in the main playthrough for the next episode. Thank you all for watching, and take care. Have a nice day.